It's the superpower of language, the superpower of words, vocabulary, to be able to describe things like never before. Now, even before YouTube and LinkedIn and all the streaming is going on, I just thought I'll create that kind of a build-up because yesterday's episode surprisingly hit double digit. I don't know what miracle happened, but here we are, intermediate of becoming fluent in English. Today's episode, we're going to crack through the next set of levels. Now, before we do that, let's uncover what all we have discussed yesterday. Of course, I don't want to recap the entire episode. All I want you to know is you've just started the entire journey. The first 30 days are crucial. We've understood how subconsciously we are programmed and hardwired to learn English, because that's pretty much the majority of the foreign language that is being used all across Asia, Australia, New Zealand. That's literally that one, Southeast Asia completely. That's all that it is. Now, 30 days when you do something, you soon begin to notice patterns. And that's when I want to talk about few of the concepts of this word called meta learning. Meta learning is learning how to learn. So every single human being in this world has their own unique way of learning. And that obviously changes and adapts over a period of time. Now, I can only give you my side of the game, and you can try and resonate with it and see what connects best for you. And with that, start to put all the pieces together. So the way that I love to learn is I love going deep into anything. When it's just like reverse engineering the language. Whenever I wanted to learn English, I knew that there are 26 alphabets. I've been taught how to read, write, speak in English in my school because the entire curriculum was always in English. My dad wrote amazing letters. I used to type letters for my dad, translate things based on whatever he wanted to depict in the letters. During days when there was no chat GPT, mind you, I used to literally type out his letters. So that gave me a very, very strong base. Now you have to look back on your life, the kind of base that you've had. And I gave you certain examples: watch movies, read books, listen to podcasts, hear people speak in that language. That will allow you to create that foundation base, which got created for me from the time GeoSim came in. Now, as you get into the zone, you will begin to realize that just by being associated with the language, you are able to notice patterns. What I'm about to share today is literally the conglomeration of what I experienced while I was learning English back in my college days. And now, as I'm slowly becoming more and more fluent in Tamil, I will give you a combination of both. Because the fundamentals applies, like I mentioned yesterday itself, it's the same for any language that you speak. So let's get started. I want to talk about couple of interesting things of across any language that makes it unique. The first are the action words or the verbs. Anything that you do. So for example, right now I'm drinking water, or I am typing in the keyboard, or I'm going from this point to that point. I want to give something to someone. I want to take something from someone. I'm asking for something. I'm giving something. In our day-to-day lives, there are these set of words which we always use. Numbers, for example. Okay, that's also another very interesting one. So you got to start doing your calculations and all those things. Okay. So when you notice that there are certain everyday stuff that you use, the very first thing for you is to start framing sentences. Again, if you'll remember when we started learning any new language, it always comes down with a group of words jumbled to form a phrase or a sentence. So as you've achieved 30 days or whatever I mentioned yesterday, in yesterday's episode, you've been following it through, you will begin to notice these phrases. You will begin to notice these kind of patterns. And as you start communicating more and more with people, you will begin to notice how your brain automatically triggers those phrases and you are instantly able to use it. And I'll tell you, that is a euphoric moment. So even now also, for example, in Tamil, I'm able to notice that I'm able to speak in a manner in which any non-native, any native Tamil speaker will be able to understand whatever I'm trying to say. And the moment I get that moment of euphoria, oh my God, I'm speaking a language, even though it's broken. And whatever it is that I'm trying to say, the other person is able to understand. Now, as you listen to a language, that becomes your habit, and your habit creates a pattern. Your pattern creates those neurons, and the muscles get built, and that's it. That's how you're gaining strength after strength. So we are going to decode all of those things in today's episode. Let's get started. I think I did a quite a huge hype up, but again, that's the way it is. Now, I made a couple of notes. I was doing a little bit of a brainstorming with AI to just see how I can structure the entire thing. So here's what happens. 30 days the moment you speak, every language has all these different patterns. Like I mentioned, one example that I gave you is action words. Second would be descriptive words. So big, small, right, wrong, this, that, there, here. No, so positional words. Preposition, you may say that, but I don't, I like to stay away from that word because I told you how my goat is a super goat yesterday's episode. Coming back, descriptive words is the second set of phrases that you need to master. And then you have numbers. Now, when you start observing English as a language, you begin to notice these patterns on how these people are describing. So when you watch movies, when you watch sports, when you watch podcasts, it's always a question being asked, an answer being given. The way the thoughts are integrated within the answer that answers the question, so that the other person can ask one more question. So at the end of the day, it's always a dialogue. Every language, at the end of the day, is a dialogue. So you need to be in a position to start engaging in more dialogues. Only this time, you want to do it in such a manner where you have that flexibility to be able to slowly do that 80-20 rule. So let's just say when I was speaking in Bengali, I used to speak 80% Bengali, 20% English, and slowly that increased. Slowly that increased. 30-70, 60-40, 50-50. And then slowly, the moment I realized, oh, okay, now I'm able to speak more in English, because again, the learning and everything continues, right? So you're still listening to your podcasts, you're still interacting with ChatGPT, you're still watching more TED Talks, you're still modeling and mimicking those movie dialogues or even the TED Talks. What you are following through is something that is called as repetition. And repetition is the mother of all skills. Now, this is a part where things became a little difficult. And I'm going to take this quote from Robin Sharma. Every change is messy in the beginning, is hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, and beautiful at the end. And he says, it takes 66 days for us to get into any form of a habit. So for me, this is a perfect head start where you've already moved through 30 days of learning and learning and learning less of speaking. You've developed those patterns. You're still reading your stuff. Mind you, the moment I touch my phone, you take any phone, the natural default language is always English. So you can see those dates in English. You get the WhatsApp messages in English. You're seeing all those different social media platforms in English. Whether you're watching a movie, you're reading the subtitles in English. It's absolutely okay to do so. Now you turn off the subtitles. You focus on listening more. You start speaking little bit. So here's what I would do. I'm talking about 2016, 2017 to be precise. Whenever the teacher would ask anyone to walk up to the in front of the class and speak, I would walk up and speak. I would mess it up. People would laugh at me, and that was absolutely fine. When there were these little mini programs and fests that happens in every college, right? There's some kind of a get together, there's a mic arrangement, you can walk up and you can perform. So I would walk up and I would sing, I would speak in English. Even though I would mess it up, people would laugh at me. I would deliberately put myself in those situations. Back then, I had downloaded a couple of courses, a couple of books on how to talk to girls, because I was very terrified, petrified of talking to girls. My legs would shake. Even though I would try, it would be so difficult. So I literally trained myself how to talk to girls. And guess what? In India, if you are in India, if you want to impress a girl, English is your superpower. When a girl finds out that you speak fluent English, you get their attention. So I would start sending friend requests to the most beautiful girls of our entire college across different departments. I would send friend requests to engineering girls, MBA girls, BBA, architecture, pharmacy, nursing. BDS would be the last ones, because I know that I'm the laughing stock of my dental college. And as I used to send those friend requests, I would engage in those conversations. it would still be so difficult for me to talk to them face to face. In fact, I remember there were these uh, group of nursing girls I really loved speaking to, but when I would see them as a group in front of me, I would just turn my face away. And it would be so weird. They would text me like, "Why did you turn your face away?" I have no idea. I get very scared when I look at beautiful girls. So that is the phase where I went through the whole messy phase, getting to know what are my shortcomings, what are the things that I need to fix, understanding the psychological patterns of speaking in English, crafting emotions and putting them into words. And I would deliberately do that in English. Mind you, even if I'm texting people in Bengali, I still need to use English alphabets to do so. And I'm sure you must have done with your native language as well. But that whole little things turned out to be the very basic foundation of this language that I have discovered so far. Now, mind you, during that entire time, I'm still watching sports. I'm still watching the Champions League final. I still have batchmates in my college who speak only and only in English. So there are these two batchmates I've had. They were from Tibet. So the only two languages that they knew were Tibetan and English. So, and they were the only two folks in my entire batch who did not troll me or taunt me or laugh at me or anything. If there's anything that they've been good to me, to such an extent where we would exchange textbooks and we would sit next to each other in the library and study. That's the kind of bond that I shared with them. So I knew that in order for me to communicate with them, I need to craft my English in a better manner. So that's pretty much the only motivation that you need. Now, this is also a very, very good time for you to start interacting with more and more groups of people. So back in 2017, I found this beautiful platform called meetup.com. That's all there across the world. You go to meetup.com, you'll be having these groups of people, of like-minded people, meeting in and around your area. So there are meetups around maybe, I remember I went for a meetup for Antakshari. So that's just singing. I went to a meetup for personal development. I went to a meetup for a seminar. I went to a meetup where just people would just share their heart out. It was more like a support group. I went for a meetup to play board games. Now, there you meet a lot of people, and for a place like Bangalore, where anyone and everyone speaks English, you don't have a choice but to communicate in that language in itself. But now, as you start doing so, you begin to realize, guess what? It's crazy because I've been practicing, I've been listening, I've been improving, I've been back then AI was not there. I'm already interacting with AI, and I'm getting to feel that I'm doing a pretty good job. When I'm meeting people, I'm at least able to understand what they're saying, even though I'm speaking slowly, but I'm able to craft things in such a manner that they are able to understand. Now, I'll tell you one very, very big secret here. Okay, very, very big one. I have never met a single English speaker in this planet who will judge you for not being grammatically correct. There are never any judgments related to language. It's only there in our head. Only we get the feeling that, oh my God, if I don't speak grammatically correct, people will laugh at me, people will blame me, people will mock at me, they will not even talk to me. It's crazy. In fact, if at all, people will start speaking to you in your own pace, and you will learn a very, very subtle meta skill yet again. You will begin to take control of the pacing of a conversation, how fast the conversation is going to flow, how slow the conversation is going to flow. The objective is for you to speak in English and make that as your natural and default mode of communication. And you'll be very, very shocked. That's what I'm experiencing right now. It's far easier for me to give a speech on English than it is on Hindi or Bengali. It's not that I cannot do it, but it takes me a little bit of more thoughts, a little bit more of an aware attention in order to really put my mind and turn the switch off of English and turn on the Hindi to be able to speak in that fluent manner. But again, it's, mind you, it's slower. My Bengali is far slower than my English because it's far easier for me to think in English and speak in English as well. Does that make sense? Now, this is the next stage that you're doing. You're while you're learning, you've turned on the button of the interactions and exposure as well. Now I'm going to give you one more very interesting hack that will just top things up in a much better manner. You were watching movies, you were watching TV series, you were watching maybe podcasts and all in English. Now, I want you to start repeating the stuff that you enjoy more. So, I'm a very big fan of Tony Robbins. He's someone who's just changed my life completely. And what I started doing is I would listen to his interventions when he's talking to people. There are a lot of videos that you'll find in YouTube also. He's literally talking to people and doing that one-to-one work with people. I would watch those videos in loops. Every week, I would watch those videos. If there is a meditation audio that I'm doing, I'm listening to that meditation audio every day, not just to meditate, by the way, to understand and absorb the tonal patterns that they are using that is helping me evoke the emotions deep within me. So if Tony Robbins is looking at someone in the eye and selling and telling that, what is that one thing that you hate the most about yourself? What is the one thing you love the most about yourself? I am observing the exact speed at which he's saying. I'm able to observe the tonality in which he's saying, the the volume at which he's saying. Now, these are happening because I have watched the thing over and over again. The same thing goes for movies. So I've watched the Harry Potter series end to end, I think 5 times so far. But even now, I can watch, and Harry Potter, mind you, is a British based movie series. So the English over there is a lot of a British level English. So the pronunciation, as at least what I feel, American English is slightly slangish. Scottish and Irish is a little difficult to understand because they jumble up the words together. Australian English is more, uh, how do you even say? Like they have some form of the Y and the O, couple of pronunciations. They're not really able to pronounce it as clearly as you would want them. So uh, Troy. Okay, so it's not try. They're not able to say try. They're able to say try. You know, trying something out, something like that. So these are very micro observations that you will begin to feel, and then you can adapt your learning in that regard. So if American is slightly slangish and they have a lot of fillers, is what I feel. And then on the British English is more like proper. Every single thing is spoken in a very organized manner in a way that is easy for the other person to understand. So I will watch those movies over and over again, this time with the subtitles, but I'm not watching the movie to enjoy the movie. I'm watching the movie to understand how easy and effortless it becomes for me to understand whatever they are saying. America, American English or Hollywood movies, they speak faster. Because they speak faster, it feels like, oh my God, they're speaking so fast, so I'm not able to understand. But you'll be blown away when you really put in that attention, you will be able to catch it. Now, this was also a period of time, I think after a year, after 6 months or so. Yeah, exactly 6 months to be precise. 1 month I practiced English like this, whatever I told you in last session. And then I started working on exposing myself and stuff. By the end of the 6th month, I started watching English movies without any subtitles, just listening about the movie, observing all the characters, and that helped me gain that advanced stuff of understanding. Now, I will tell more about this. I don't want to completely digress on the entire thing. That is to be discussed in the next live, which is going to be about advanced form of learning and stuff. That has a lot of other elements which I will share as well. But as you start doing these little hacks and habits, you soon begin to realize this is what will happen. Okay, because you have people around you speaking in English, and let's just say right now you're a leader, so your emails are in English. All your professional communication are in English. You talk to your subordinates in English. You have your meetings in English. You will start developing more command in those situations by the sixth month, if you continue with this practice, more so, it's not about you becoming fluent in English anymore. It's about you learning the joy of immersing in a language, embodying that entire language. So today I know for sure that yes, I have started learning Spanish in Duolingo, but I don't speak in Spanish with anyone. So at some point of time, I know one of my cousins did it long back. I remember I had asked her, like, how many languages does she know? She's a PhD, holds a PhD in linguistics. We're not in touch at all. So, but that, back then, whenever I had asked her, she had told me that she actually joined a French speaking class, a Spanish speaking class, a Latin speaking class, where the teacher speaks only, the teacher's native tongue is Latin. Students over there speaking in Latin, so they don't have any other choice but to learn Latin. So for me, I know that if I really want to take my Spanish speaking skills to the next level, I would more than join such a platform where they teach that entire language. And I really have this dream of becoming uh, polylingual. So that's also going to be another crazy bit of an experience. But English sets that foundation. So this intermediate stage is not just about becoming fluent in intermediary stage in English. This is when you will also slowly begin to notice patterns of how these other aspects of grammar, right? I'm talking about tense